Guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at the basics of Excel, and we're going to learn a few functions and formulas in Excel and how to format data on Excel. If you stick around to the end of the video, you're also going to learn how many rows are there in our current Office 365 worksheet, and also the columns. So without much further ado, there are two ways in which you can use Excel on your computer. The first one is the online version. You go to office.com and log in using your Office account, Microsoft Office account. In this case, mine is already there. And then you click on create. Then you choose the Excel workbook. Then it will open and give you the Excel template to work with. For today, we are going to use the second method, which is the offline pre-installed Excel software on your computer. This one usually comes pre-installed with the Windows operating system. In my case, I'm using Office 365. So Excel is a spreadsheet program which is used to analyze data and give insights, and in a very short and precise manner, I would describe it as a very powerful calculator. So we're going to look at the fundamentals of Excel in this tutorial. Feel free to download the Excel workbook on my link below so that you're able to follow along. Okay, so we'll start by defining some of the basics in Excel. The first one being the cell. A cell is the intersection of where a column and a row meet. So in this case, A6 is a cell, and how we define a cell is by referencing the column first and then the row. In this case, it is A, column A, row 6. Thereby, you have A6. A range of cells is defined as a group of cells either in a row or a column. So in this case, from a cell A8 to A11, that's a range of cells. That's how you define and reference a range of cells in Excel. The next item we're going to look at is formatting. In this case, there are certain scenarios where you have a lot of data and you want to be able to comprehend it very fast as soon as you set your eyes on it. For example, what is the world population in 2023? In this case, you're able to see it is 7.9 billion. However, if there were no commas, you cannot easily comprehend that number by just looking at it easily. So the comma is the element that makes you be able to format the data for you to be able to understand it better. Same goes for our second question, which is the current distance to the sun, which is 151 kilometers. We are also going to look at how you format fractions. As you can see, this is a half. However, if we put it as a general format, it shows as 0.5. To turn it back to a fraction, we go to the fraction. So another key element on how to format data on Excel is a merge and center. So how do you merge all the cells that are highlighted from A to D into one cell? Go to alignment and click on merge and center, and it will merge and put all that data in one cell. What if I want to fit all this data in one cell? So I'll click on text crop text. We'll see all of that data will be able to fit in one cell without distorting the columns. The next item we are going to look at is how to adjust cell sizes. So for example, here we have data on Brands Electronics, the various items we sell at our store, and we are going to adjust the row height. So we'll click on the row itself and then click and hold and drag to adjust the row height. to your liking. Alternatively, you can click and say row height equals to, maybe you can put it at 35, and you'll see it will increase the row height. Same goes for the column. Click and adjust the column. A cool neat trick you can use to be able to adjust columns and rows to be able to fit correctly with the data represented on the Excel sheet is by double clicking on the column, and it will auto fit, and also the row height too, and it will auto fit it. See, the data is very neat and nice. So the premise of why we use Excel is to be able to harness the power of formulas and functions, and that's where we'll spend much of our focus in our in this tutorial and other tutorials. And we are going to start with the basic formulas. We'll start off the basic formulas like addition. So say want to add A2 and A3, say equals to A2 plus A3 gives you 35. Another way of getting an addition is also going on the clicking on the sum function, and it will add the two for you. You can also use the sum function to add this data. A6 to A8 vertically, and you can also use the sum function to add horizontally. You can also use the shortcut key Alt, hold Alt and then equal sign, and it will add all the data in all those columns. So you want to add various parts of data on the screen. For example, you want to add data on row 17, 19 and 21. So we'll come here and say equals to sum, then highlight the range of cells, comma, in row 17, then you come to row 19, range of cells in row 19, comma, then row 21, then close bracket, equals to 1395. That's how you add various parts on the screen. So how do you subtract on Excel? You'll choose the cell you want to subtract, which is A24 minus A25. That's how you do subtraction in Excel. A multiplication is you use an asterisk instead of an X. So we say A28 asterisk sign by A29. That's how you do multiplication. A division, you use the slash symbol, backslash. So equals to 100 divided by 10. That's how you do division. Average, say use the function average equals to average, then choose the range of cells you want to get an average for, close bracket, that's 75. Then if you want to determine the highest number in a range of cells, so you say equals to max, and select the range of cells. So as you can see, the highest number in this range of cells is 565, and by using the max function you'll get the same number, which is 565. And what if you want to count the items in a range of cells? You use the function count equals to count, and select the range of cells you want to count the number of items in that cell. Range of cells gives you 12. And also if you highlight, you can see here at the bottom count is equals to 12. Also a neat trick on also determining the sum without using the formula or functions is highlight the number the number of items you want to get the total sum of, and you'll see here the bottom sum is equals to 753, which is correct, which is also indicated here with on our formula as 753. So the next item we are going to talk about on in Excel is also the fill series, on how Excel auto-populates data based on the formula above of the patterns it has been able to identify in your data set. So this is Brian's spreadsheet on the various sales or sales on items on his electronics store, and we wanted to determine the profit margin less Brian's fee, which is the management fee. For every sale made, Brian's gets 200 shillings as a management fee. So we do the profit margin, which is that minus 200, which gives you that. Then we'll adjust the formatting to Kenya shillings. Then we'll double click on this so that it auto populates and is able to copy the formula down. As you can see, it has copied the formula down, but nothing has changed. This is due to an error of referencing. What we have done initially was relative reference, and what we intended to have was absolute reference. That means that the fee, the cell where the fee is, should be fixed, and we do that by adding a dollar sign, in this case before H and 4. That's absolute reference. Enter, then we double click, and you see automatically it picks that data. What if you want to do absolute reference without adding the dollar sign the manual way? Shift and clicking on F4 on the number 4 so that you're able to put it here. What you'll do is delete that initially and click on function, hold function and F4, and it will automatically populate the dollar sign on H and 4. So the other neat trick on Excel when you are trying to auto populate data is, for example, you say the total sales here on Q1 is 500, and wanted to define the remaining quarters without having to populate that data. Excel automatically picks this, so you click on the cell you want to drag the data from, and it will automatically auto populate because it is in sequence, because it already determines the queue is already permanent, and then the pattern will be after 1, 2, 3, 4. What if you wanted to change the columns, the data on the columns to come on the rows, and the data on the rows to come on the columns? You'll use the function of transpose. So we'll highlight the data set we want. Another trick where you'll use a lot in Excel is when you want to select a data set. As long as the data set is complete from the point of beginning to the point where it ends, you'll just click at the beginning of the cell and Control A. It will highlight all of it for you, and Control C to copy. Then you'll come and click on the cell where you want to transpose the data on, then click and then choose transpose, and you see the columns have become the rows and the rows have become the columns. Another basic feature on Excel that we are going to look at, which is very important when analyzing data, is if you have a data set where you want to split the information, say you want the first name and the last name in separate cells, you'll come and say insert, sorry about that here. It's data, come to data, text to columns, then you say you'll choose delimited, then say next, then you choose space, limiter is the space, then say next. Then you'll choose the cell in which the data, the first name will be in. In this case, it will be in B2. Then you say finish. You see it has split the data, the names into columns B and C. This is going to be very important as you're going to use Excel a lot. And if you have a lot of information, it would be very nice to be able to use this capability. Then the other feature we are going to look at is the filter and sort function. In this case, we are still using the original dataset of the electronic items that are sold by Brian's electronic store. In this case, we use the filter function. So we'll click on the header and choose filter, and say we wanted to choose the product with the highest profit margin. So you say sort largest to smallest, and you're able to see that's the Oraimo Boulevard car charger, the profit margin of 19,200. Okay, so what if we wanted to identify uh, each product by the model of the manufacturer? For example, we wanted to identify Samsung products and Huawei products. Say select on that, and then say okay. Then we have visibility of the two models. In essence, that is a function of filter and sort. So the next feature we are going to look at on Excel basics is the table, and we're still going to work on the table that we are working on right now. We have the data set of the electronic items that are sold on Brands Electronics, and we are going to convert this into a table. So we'll click on the cell, and then we say home, then format as a table, then we say custom, then my table has headers, say okay. Once you've formatted your data set into a table, you have the capability of getting the totals. And you click inside the table and say total row, and it will give you the total on your profit margin here. And you can also switch in between and choose the maximum profit margin, which is 19,200, and the minimum gives you 300. The minimum profit you're making on this data set. And also you can count, it counts the number of items in that table. So for now we're going to work with some. So in essence, that's how a table works. And actually a table is the first step towards your data analysis journey on Excel. So we are going to also look at quick analysis. For example, we're still using the same data set. We want to do a quick analysis on the cost of items. Say click on this and say quick analysis. Then we can use data bars to determine the highest cost on the products sold at brands. So we find that is like the Vitron Android 43-inch smart TV. You can even use the colors, you can use the icon set, top 10 percentage. Yeah, basically that's it for the quick analysis feature. Next, we're going to look at charts. So here on this data set, we have the year and then the conference attendance, and we wanted to create a chart based off this data set. So we'll go to insert, then we'll choose the charts that we want to add. If it's a pie chart, bar graph, in this case we want to do a bar chart. Choose this clustered column chart, and basically that's it. That's how you add a column. That's how you add a chart on Excel. Same goes for this. We'll say 2D column chart. It will be able to show you on the axis, it will show you on the horizontal axis, it will show you the date, and also the vertical axis, it will show you the food sales and the attendance. So that's pretty much it on how to add charts on Excel. You can play around with the features. I know I haven't dived too much into this. Then the next feature that is very important on data analysis and as a basic fundamental you need to learn is on how to be able to have visibility of a large data set and be able to understand and be able to reference the data you're working with. And we are going to use a freeze function. We'll go to view, then freeze panes. First of all, you'll need to select the cell where you want to put the freeze in. Then you say freeze panes. Now see, as we scroll, you're able to have a clue of what you're looking at, the data you're interacting with, what you're looking at. So the next item in our arsenal that we haven't talked about, and it's actually the motherload. The one more thing that we haven't talked about in depth is the pivot tables. So a pivot table is a very important tool in Excel that helps you be able to comprehend and analyze data in a nutshell and gives you a bird's eye view of what you're dealing with. With this data set, we are going to say insert pivot table from table or range, and then we say existing worksheet. Come on, click on this cell, say OK. Now we're going to want to determine something cool, like we are going to add the make. No, that's too broad. Say the model. Now we have 5 models brands you're working with. Then we're going to add the price. So it's going to do the sum of the price. And what if we wanted to determine the total cost of each, what it cost brands to be able to purchase these items, say the sum of costs. And what if we go further ahead and want to sort by largest to smallest? We find like Oraimo is the top product that costs brands the most in this case. So that's basically how on a basic level on how a pivot table works. So feel free guys to work on this worksheet and play around with what we've gone through. And if you have any questions or clarifications you need, you can go into the comment section and I'll be happy to answer you and get back to you. So thank you guys for taking your time to go through these tutorials. I think on the next video we are going to discuss the top 20 Excel tips and tricks on how to maneuver and know your way around Excel, because once you already have the building blocks and the fundamentals on how to operate Excel, it will be easier and you are going to have a lot of fun working with big data. Another thing, just for fun, that most people are not aware of, actually how many rows are there in an Excel sheet. So currently there are 1,048,576 rows in Excel. That's the maximum number of data you can add in rows in Excel. And what about columns? Columns start from A to XFD. That's neat.